to Anime Apocalypse, where a major weeb tries to turn his two friends into weebs like himself. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and things they say will be opinions and should not be perceived as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Anime Apocalypse, the show where I try to turn my two friends into weebs like myself.
We here at Anime Apocalypse would actually like to give you a fun fact this week. So, some of you may not know that an anime movie has actually won an Oscar when Spirited Away won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards in 2003.
I'm Lane.
And I'm Nathaniel.
As you guys can tell, we are short one man this week. We
Yes.
actually kind of had to move some things around with some schedule conflicts and stuff. So this week's episode, which I think is episode 5,
Yep.
Episode 5 will actually be coming out next week. We're replacing your scheduled release with this right here. Me and Nathaniel here, we have to try to knock an episode out for you guys because we had some scheduling conflicts, but nothing wrong with that. It just means I get to watch more anime and I get to listen to Nathaniel either suffer or enjoy. This week we don't know.
Hopefully it will be enjoy
Hopefully,
this week because we're not watching anything cringe for once.
well, hopefully. But
Hopefully.
yeah, speaking of your fun fact, good old Studio Ghibli made that movie, Spirited Away. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I watched it. Nate, I know we watched it together. What were your opinions on that back in the day?
I don't want to get too far into it because I hope at some point we also watch Spirited Away for this show.
I hope so too.
But it's definitely in my top 3 Ghibli movies and probably also in my top 3 anime movies because I would probably put My Neighbor Totoro above it is the only one I would put in Ghibli, and like just overall anime, the only 2 I probably have above Spirited Away is Your Name and then My Neighbor Totoro.
All right.
So,
But yeah, the reason why I speak of Studio Ghibli is because me and Nathaniel are gonna sit down and we're gonna just grind out a movie and give you guys a review on it this week, since we just need to knock something out. But this week we're gonna watch a Studio Ghibli movie. It's one that actually me and Nate both haven't seen, so you guys will actually be able to hear my all throughout opinions of this. Normally, you guys don't get to hear my opinions besides some little snippets that I jump in when these guys are giving their reviews. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I watch my own anime outside of the podcast, which I do watch quite a bit. I'm currently grinding through Naruto Shippuden, and also I think like 4 or 5 of this season's animes. I know Nathaniel and Aaron, you guys don't really keep up to date with like the season stuff, but I try to watch at least 4 or 5 every season, give them a couple episodes, see if I like it or not. So that's currently what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to watching another Studio Ghibli movie. I've only seen 3, I do believe: Grave of the Firefly, Spirited Away, and My Neighbor Totoro. So this will be my 4th adventure in Studio Ghibli. I have enjoyed all the Studio Ghibli movies, and I'm actually hoping to see the Studio Ghibli Museum in Japan this year. Next year.
you mean next year? Yeah.
In May. But yeah, Nathaniel, have you heard anything about I guess I should say the movie that we're watching this week? We're gonna watch Princess Mononoke. I do believe that is correct. Yeah,
It's
Princess
like Mononoke or something. I think the technical name is like Mononoke Hime.
Okay. I personally have never. I'm looking at this art because I have it pulled up on Mal. I personally have never heard or seen anything about this movie, so I actually have no idea what's it about. But if it's a Studio Ghibli film, I'm assuming it's gonna be. They're gonna touch on either some touchy subject or it's gonna be like a heartwarming one. And from the picture I see, looks like they're gonna be doing a touchy subject.
But more than likely, I know a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies I've seen, because I've seen a good chunk of their collection of movies. This is one I have not seen, which is a little bit surprising since I know a lot of people really like this one. It's currently ranked number 54 overall on Mal.
Yeah, that
Um,
is freaking nuts.
when I watched most of them, it was actually probably I think it was the year of like 2016, 2015, sometime in there. My older sister, got very into Studio Ghibli, and she started watching a bunch of them. But this is one that she stuck away from because she did not like violence, and this is like one of the few ones that's actually rated PG-13. And I've heard there's like decapitations and whatnot in this one.
Oh, oh,
So
nice.
she wanted to stick away from it. I always wanted to watch it because I'm not sure which character it is, but one of my favorite voice actresses, Tara Strong, I know she plays a character in the movie. Um, so
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to watching it tonight with you because I've been wanting to watch it for a long time. I've just never been able to get around to it.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten to sit down and watch a movie with each other for a little while.
Not since we watched Your Name together and cried on each other.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've gotten to sit down and actually like watch. Well, I guess we've watched some anime together here and there with this podcast, but yeah, it would definitely be nice doing a movie for sure. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I wish I had more about this movie. I really do. But like I
I
said,
mean, we could read the description.
I guess. You want to
I
read the
got
description?
a. I'll read the one that's on HBO Max.
All right.
So it says cursed warrior. If I could talk, wow, cursed warrior Ashitaka stumbles into wow, I cannot talk today. Into a bitter war where a girl raised by wolves defends her forest home against the people of Irontown. In this epic masterpiece, I cannot talk. This is crazy. From Hayao Miyazaki about the clash between mankind and nature. So there's your touchy subject.
Oh, okay.
The fight between man and nature.
The fight between man and nature. All right. Um, yeah, I mean, it came out all the way back in 1997, so we'll see how the animation holds up for its time.
It's the
Uh,
same age as my sister.
dang. It's a whopping 2 hours and 13 minutes. That's crazy. Dang.
Not if you went and saw the Batman in theaters. It's not
Uh, I
more of
think.
an interesting game.
Oh gosh.
Both
Yeah.
of those are like over 3 hours.
Yeah. Those are. Yeah, some long movies, but yeah. I have nothing else about this. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching a Studio Ghibli movie. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, if Nathaniel, if you got nothing else, we can jump on in.
I say let's jump on in.
All right, we are gonna go watch the 1997 Princess Mononoke.
This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. From here on out, there will be massive spoilers, adult topics, hot takes, and far too many fan service complaints. Remember to buckle up and enjoy the ride.
And we are back after watching the 1997 Princess Mononoke. It's a Studio Ghibli film, like 2 hours and what, like 8 minutes long.
Like 217, something like that.
Do something like, yeah. We just got done watching it. I will say, not awful. not
What is that supposed to mean?
not awful.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's good. We'll get into it. But let's see. How do I want to do this? Nate, I guess you can kind of start on your initial thoughts on it.
Alrighty. I thought, like I said before, it was great. I hadn't seen a Ghibli movie that I have disliked. I'm intentionally steering clear of Earwig and the Witch that came out like last year because I've heard that one's garbage. Anyway, um, I really enjoyed it. Very beautiful animation, uh, very fluid animation too, which is very surprising since back in like 1997, animation wasn't the best it was ever. I mean, I've always much preferred um like original anime or hand-drawn animation, I guess is the term for it, over CGI in this movie was using hand-drawn animation. Um, I won't get too much into the plot quite yet, but the the major props to the music, first of all, um, just I believe his name is Hisaishi. I probably butchered his name, but he does music for I don't think it's all the Ghibli movies, but I know it's a good chunk of them. He also did the music for the video game Ni no Kuni, if anyone's ever played that one. But the music just was amazing. It's like during the scenes where there's just sweeping landscapes, it's just very triumphant music, very orchestral. But the best thing about Ghibli movies is that they know when to be quiet, where it's like there's no music, nobody talking, um, just letting there be a moment. And in this movie, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of scenes where it was just you were looking on a landscape and like all you were hearing was like the wind blowing past. And there was like usually action on the screen, whether he's like riding across the screen or just people like like their mouths are moving, showing you that they're talking to each other, but you don't get to hear what they're saying to each other because it's not important. And Ghibli very much is more of a show don't tell kind of studio. In particular, I did make a note of it. There was a really good scene where it kind of in the middle of the movie where he wakes up in a cave next to Princess Mononoke, and he just sits there for a second, just looking or he just came off having a conversation with her wolf mom thing, and he comes back in, and he has this moment where he like it's very clear that he's regretting what he has to do because he's gonna have to leave, and he knows that he can't be with her even though he's fallen in love with her, and he kind of just sits there for a second and kind of looks at her, realizing they can't be with her, and then it's probably like 5-10 seconds long, and then he goes like he lays back down and puts like the cover back over her, and it's just a really poignant beautiful moment, but there's no music playing, there's like no sounds even, like besides like the movement of him like moving the cover, and it's just a very beautiful moment where you don't need to do anything but just let the emotions soak in for a second. But I don't know. I could go on and on about scenes like that forever in this movie. But I'll let Lane kind of jump in now with his
Uh,
analysis of the overall.
yeah. Overall, I thought it was. I mean, it's a Studio Ghibli film. You can't expect anything less from them. They are a great company that produces amazing content and amazing movies. Some notes that I had were, I really enjoyed the art style and the animation. I could tell from the very beginning. I could just tell that it's Studio Ghibli by the art and the animation style of this movie. Studio Ghibli does a great job. Nate was saying it. Studio Ghibli does a great job with just so many moments in movies, especially with like the moments where there's no words said and like actions are just being like portrayed, and Studio Ghibli does it really well, and it's no different in this movie for sure. I also agree that the music and the sounding in this movie is spectacular. I would almost, I would probably go to say, out of all the Studio Ghibli films, this might have the best music soundtrack out of the Studio Ghibli films that I've personally seen.
I don't know. Totoro's is kind of goaded.
Totoro's is not bad, but Totoro's is not my favorite, to be honest.
Understandable.
But yeah, I was not expecting anything less. I figured I would like this. All Studio Ghiblis have been very spectacular. In my books, everybody they're known and loved around the world for sure. But yeah, man, in some points of this movie, it took my breath away with like some of the scenes that they were portraying, especially with like the forest and everything, like the landscape. This movie, yeah, this might take my number one spot for Studio Ghibli films that I've seen. To be honest, this was
I don't think it's gonna take mine from like Totoro or Howl's Moving Castle, but it's definitely up there for me.
this was really really good. For me, yeah, frick, yeah, it is really really good. How do we want to do this, Nate? We don't
I don't know,
we don't
'cause
have
I was wondering the same thing. Is like, do we
we,
want to do a plot
yeah,
breakdown for the
we
whole
don't
entire movie?
we don't have an episode by episode like analysis to be able to do because there's no episodes. We could kind of do like a plot. Yeah, we could probably do like what the plot was about. Um,
Uh, I'll go then,
Yeah.
and if you ever want to jump in, just let me know.
yeah, I'll
But
jump in.
movie kind of starts off. It's with a narration, kind of letting you know that in this world there's like gods and demons, and the humans are kind of at war with them. And then movie, I mean, yeah, movie begins with that, and then you go into, or you see this monster that's just made out of these like weird noodle things,
Yeah,
right? As it says, like this world is like ruled by gods and demons.
one
Um,
of my notes I said like specifically when we saw the demon the first time I said weird noodle monster question mark.
yeah, I wrote
Like
down noodle monster.
the way they portrayed the demon in this was like super weird and kind of like creepy, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like the demon thing in Spirited Away, the one that like ate all the food and like grew.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
one
yeah.
kind of
No face.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, but definitely a little bit creepier with all these noodles flying around and stuff. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so then you see that, and then you see our main character. I believe his name was Ashitaka, and he was
Yeah.
riding on his big giant red elk, which is my boy Yakul. Very important character
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
You cool carried the show.
Yeah, true. But then I have a note here that says that the monster looks like the word laryngitis.
Oh my god.
Just because, like, I don't know. Have you ever looked at something and you're like, man, that looks like the word like something, right?
Yeah.
It's like I think there was a meme a couple years ago about this like preppy schoolboy looking guy that was on Good Morning America, and the meme was, it said he looks like the word lacrosse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that meme. Yeah.
yeah. But then, so this demon is charging straight for his village. So he goes and fights it with a bow and arrow while he's riding on my boy Yakul.
You
And then
cool.
he just gets it in the eye, and then some of like the noodle demon things start coming off of him, and you see that it's this giant boar. And then after they come off of him, he shoots it in the head with the bow and arrow, killing this giant boar. And then during the fight, he gets some of the like demon junk on him, and like it's very clearly wounded him. And then after killing him, like his whole entire village comes out, like the elder woman comes out and like basically says, sorry, we had to kill you, to the god. And then the god basically curses them. And then you see that because he got wounded from the demon noodle thing that came on him, the elder woman says, it's like, you are now cursed, and the mark or the wound is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger until it takes over your whole entire body. It's going to then destroy your soul, and you're going to die, basically. So they outlaw him, or banish him, I guess
Yeah,
is the right word.
that was so sad. I was gonna mention that when they like banished him, that was like so sad. They were like they were basically literally just like, yeah, never come back here.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so you just saved our village, but get the fuck out.
Yeah, it was so sad. Like he like accepted his fate too. I thought like maybe he would fight it a little bit, but man was just like, yeah, I figured
Well, he
this
was
was gonna
also the
happen.
prince.
Yeah,
He was like the prince of the village.
the prince, and then like I don't know why he had to like cut his hair or something. I don't.
I didn't understand that either.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's
I
some sort of
I
ancient Japanese tradition.
something like that. But yeah, it was just so sad how they had to like send him off, and they were just like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, but never come back.
Yeah, love you, bye.
Yep, man.
But yeah, so then he leaves, and then this is actually where I wrote down music is phenomenal because it's like you have a lot of just wide shots of like the
The forest
landscape
stuff. Yeah,
and just
I
mountains, plains, and this very triumphant music is playing. And I think I told Lane, I was like, "Oh my God, this music is phenomenal."
I jotted down in the exact same spot you did that the soundtrack kind of slaps.
Yeah,
Like right when he's like leaving the village and you get like the shots of like the landscape and like him riding Yakul, and you just get to see the landscape and the music comes, and that's all you're hearing is the music. You don't hear anybody talking, you don't hear anything else, you just hear the music. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, that was phenomenal.
yeah. Like I said earlier, Ghibli does great with just showing landscapes and people traveling across them and just having amazing music in the background. But then he comes onto this village and these people are being attacked by samurai. And then he gets his bow and arrow out just to kind of fend them off. And then, like, the demon, like, cursed energy on his left arm just, like, makes the arrows way more powerful. So he just, like, rips a guy's arms off with one arrow. And
Yeah,
he shoots an arrow at another guy and just fucking decapitates him.
yeah. I
His
when I
head
saw that,
flew off.
my jaw dropped and I instantly typed in my notes. I was like, Studio Ghibli question mark question mark question mark, because I was
Yeah.
like, what? Like literally the guy's arm got shot off from like the elbow. You could see the bone, and then the next person he shoots at just decapitates him. And it's just
Yeah.
like, is this a
And this
Studio
movie,
Ghibli film?
yeah, it's like Studio Ghibli, and it's also only PG-13. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
wait a minute,
Yeah,
I've seen some stuff like that in R-rated movies.
there was a couple scenes like that with some decapitations and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then so he then gets to a smaller village, and there's like a big buzz around him because he's wearing like this giant like cloak thing made out of like reeds. So he looks like an outsider, like very much like an outsider. So he goes in and he asks for a bag of rice, and the woman like gives him the bag of rice, and he's like, "Here, I hope this pays for it," and gives her like a little piece of gold, and she's like, "That's not money. Give me my rice back." And then this monk comes over. He's like, "What are you talking about? Like that piece of gold is probably worth like 3 bags of rice. You know, I'll give you the money. I'll take the gold off your hands." And she's like, "No, you're fucking not." And then um gives it back, or yeah, he gives it back to her, and then the monk starts following him, and that was probably one of the funniest parts of the movie was this guy is just, or this monk is following him, and he just keeps talking, and Ashikata is just not talking back,
Yeah,
and like it just keeps going for a minute. I just wrote down monk is great.
and then
Did
he
not know what the monk was going to turn into later in the movie.
yeah, and then he turns out to be a somewhat bad guy, somewhat not bad guy.
Yeah, I would say he's kind of the bad guy of the movie.
Yeah, I would say so.
But then they have like a conversation in a cave. They spend the night in the cave, and then in the morning Ashikata keeps going. And then there's a scene where you see these characters. Um, you see these characters going over this mountain, like transporting stuff, and then these two wolves with a girl riding on the back of one of them are coming down the mountain and attack them, but the humans get a shot off on the mama wolf after she shows up. I believe her name was Moro. Was the name of the mama wolf? I can't remember for 100% though.
I think Moro. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
yeah.
But she gets a shot off on her. She falls off the cliff. And then all of her men are like, "We need to go save our men that fell off during the battle." And she's like, "No, they're dead. Leave them." So then Ashikata is going along, and he finds bodies of two men that are still breathing, and then I'm so sorry. I don't know why my mind just blinked there. He
Yeah,
finds bodies.
he finds the two bodies, and he ends up like helping them. He patches them up, giving them some like casts, or like he kind of like
Mhm,
splints their arms. One of them has like a broken arm, the other one has a broken arm and leg, and the first guy had a head injury, I think, because his head was wrapped up in a bunch of bandages. But then
mhm.
they end up seeing these little tree spirit things. Do you remember what they're called? I think they called them something.
I think they start with a Y, but I can't remember exactly. But you missed the part where
Oh,
he sees the wolves and the girl
oh
for the
yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
time.
They're called Kodama, is what they're called. The little tree
Gotcha.
spirit things. But yeah, our main character Ashikata, he hears something, and then the best character in the show, the Yakul. Yakul notices they're there first, so then Ashikata goes and checks it out, and it's our other main character, San, yeah, San, and the three wolves, and they go and check it out. What exactly happens? They don't really do anything, right? They basically just leave.
Yeah, she's like sucking the blood out of the wound of the mama wolf, and that's where like
Yeah,
a
that
lot of
was
the
that was
promotional,
interesting.
yeah, a lot of the promotional pictures have like it's on with blood all over her face, and that was from that scene.
Yeah, where she's sucking the blood out from the injured, where the mom wolf got shot.
Hmm.
But yeah, so then after that, Ashikata proceeds to follow the Kodama, which are the tree spirits, through the trees to kind of lead them to the spirit realm, or like there was another thing they called it. The frick, I don't remember what they call it. Do you remember?
Which one? Sorry.
It's like the place where like the healing place. They call it like the spirit realm and something else.
I can't remember.
But they basically lead them to the way of like the pool in the middle where the forest spirit like lives, and like the water apparently or something has like some sort of like healing power in it.
Hmm.
So they make them go there, and then we finally after they heal up there for a little bit, they exit the forest, and they're at the city of Iron something.
Iron Town.
Iron. Oh yeah, they just call it Iron Town.
Yep.
But they make it to Iron Town, and then we find another important character, which her name is Iboashi.
Aboshi, I believe.
Iboshi. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, he basically like trucks along the water, and he gets over to Iron Town, and the village is like freaking out because he brought back two of their people. So then the leader of Iron Town, Iboshi, she like
Aboshi.
Iboshi, fuck. She wants to like thank him, so she asks him to stay, and they end up having a conversation. They don't really see eye to eye, but Nate, you can pick up from there.
Okay. So they basically have this conversation about what she's trying to do. So she's making these guns so that she can take on the gods because she she specializes in iron, and like she has to be digging deeper and deeper into this forest so that they can keep getting iron so that they can make these guns. And basically this whole entire town is run by ladies. So Lady Eboshi is the head of it, and then like all the other women in it, Lady Eboshi picked up from like brothels and a bunch of other places so that they would have actual work instead of selling their body like they were before. And they're busy just like keeping the bellows up, making these guns. And then you learn that she also has a bunch of lepers that she's given jobs to so that they can keep like doing stuff and being a part of society, unlike what lepers usually are, where they're shunned. And like they're making these guns. She wants them to make them lighter so that the women of the town can use them because currently they're so heavy that only the men of the town can use them. And then after they're done talking, they don't see eye to eye because she wants to keep going, destroying the forest, and um, Ishitaka is wanting to keep the forest well because they're the reason. or the Irontown is the reason that the boar god at the beginning of the movie was the way he was because they the boars attacked Irontown to try and stop them from encroaching upon their forest, and Irontown shot him, broke his ribs, like lodged a piece of iron in him. Instead of accepting his death, he then was so furious that he kept on living, and that's why he then became the demon. So
Mm-hmm.
Ishitaka knows that it's because of them that like the demons are happening and why he was cursed in the first place, because humans are going up against nature basically.
Yeah, and
So after they
that's
have this conversation, or it's during this part of the movie where you learn about Princess Mononoke. They only say her name once. Like I don't like everyone else calls her San,
mm-hmm.
so I'm a little bit confused as why like they call her Princess Mononoke once in the movie
Yeah,
and then
they didn't really
never
go
again.
into that a whole lot, but yeah, at
Like,
this point
I'm
of
kind of
the
curious if Mononoke means something
it might, but
in
kind of like
Japanese.
at this point you kind of like find out like what the show is about. It's basically like uh our main characters. It's basically them wanting to keep well, Ashikita. He wants to keep peace between humans and the forest. San, at first, she is all for the forest. She hates humans because they have been destroying the forest and also the boar god, or one of the boar gods, apparently, because there's another one. But yeah, we find out that the whole kind of like premise of the story, I would say, is basically them working out the peace between the village or the forest and the people, and that's kind of what the movie is about. There's some twists, some turns. But yeah, is there anything I missed about the plot?
Uh, Not a whole lot. You kind of very briefly summarize the rest of the movie,
Yeah, but
but
that
I guess we don't want to give the whole entire movie away because like when we're doing the anime like or the episodic ones, like when we're explaining them, like we can be like, here's the first 5 episodes, go watch the rest yourself if you think it sounds interesting. But
yep.
like this one, it's weird because like we have to move away from our normal formula
Yeah,
because
we
we
have
don't
to
want to
do
give
it
away the whole entire movie.
yeah, we have to do it a little bit different.
But yeah, so I also looked it up. Mononoke apparently translates to like vengeful spirit. So
Oh,
basically, when she calls her Princess Mononoke, she's saying that she's like the princess of the vengeful spirits.
ah, okay. That
But
that
yeah,
makes sense. We can do kind of like our final thoughts, and then we can do like a rating and stuff.
for sure.
Um,
So I guess final thoughts, like I would definitely suggest it. Like, like I was saying just now, it's like I feel weird telling so much of the plot of the movie because like I do want people to go watch it because I think it's a phenomenal movie. Um, And if you're a fan of Ghibli, you should definitely watch it. If you're just a fan of anime, I would definitely suggest it because Ghibli has their own style of animation. They have their own style of just storytelling. Like they have their own tropes, which I mean, I noticed a lot of Ghibli tropes in this movie. Like a big one being like main character gets the place he's looking for, has to leave place he's looking for, ends up back at the place he's looking for.
yep.
Um, like Ghibli has their own tropes, but I love them anyway.
Yeah, the Studio Ghibli movies are. I haven't seen a bad one yet, and I hope I don't see a bad one. But yeah, I think the movie is it's a phenomenal movie. It really is. Whether you're an anime lover, a Studio Ghibli lover, or just somebody that is kind of just starting into anime and listening to our podcast to listen to us rant about, listen to Nate rant about fan service or us recommending something
There was no
that
fan service in this movie.
there was no fan service in this movie. I'm just saying for other
There was also no
episodes.
weird sibling shit. This is the first or movie we've had where there was no weird sibling shit.
Yeah. But I would highly recommend this. I'm gonna have it at probably my number one spot for one or number two spot. For Studio Ghibli. I'll have to wait and probably give it a couple weeks. I don't want to do recency bias, so I gotta let it sit for a little bit. Because I don't know if it's gonna pass Spirited Away. It might, because this show or this movie was very, very good.
Mm,
But yeah, I definitely highly recommend it. Sounds like Nate highly, highly recommends it.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
so yeah, we didn't go over Mal in the first part. But
I think it said that it was ranked 54
yeah,
during the opening, but
you said it was ranked 54, but it's sitting all the way up at a high 8.67, which is a really good, especially since it came out all the way in 1997,
yeah.
and
If
8.67
it's
is
old
really
and
good.
it's high on Mal, you know it's good.
Yeah, for sure. So you want to go with your thumbs up or thumbs in the middle or thumbs down? I mean,
Oh,
it's probably
definitely a
pretty.
thumbs up for this one.
All
I
right.
mean, if I did anything else, I think I would be a hypocrite.
Yeah, true.
But definitely a thumbs up for me. If I was gonna put it on the number scale, I'm actually gonna be serious this week instead of giving a joke number like I usually do. I would probably give it a 9 out of 10. Like,
Okay.
I don't think it's like it's not perfect. It's close to perfect, not gonna lie.
It is.
But
It
like,
is really good.
I do think there are some other movies that I would rank higher, like Your Name or
Yeah.
like I know My Neighbor Totoro, like the story isn't as good as this one. Like this one has a better story than My Neighbor Totoro, but there's
See,
just something about My Neighbor Totoro I just love so much.
yeah. If we ever have an episode of My Neighbor Totoro, I'll have to kind of let you know like what I personally think about My Neighbor Totoro, but that's for another time.
Mhm.
Me personally, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm not gonna give it as high of a number as you, but I'm gonna be pretty close to the Mal score. I'm gonna actually give it a little under the Mal score. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. Still a really phenomenal anime. This thing does really good things. It's definitely a Studio Ghibli film. If you enjoy Studio Ghibli, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this
Mhm.
movie. If you have the time to sit down and watch it, we definitely really highly recommend for you guys.
Mhm.
But yeah, again, we're kind of sorry that sorry, not sorry, for the inconvenience of this week. We had our other host had some things come up. He's actually moving, or he just got moved in. So
Moving
he,
like halfway across the country as well. Like it's
yeah,
not just a little move, like from apartment to apartment. It's like he's moving.
yeah,
So
he's moved. So we should be back on our regular schedule next week. So you guys should be seeing the follow up or the next episode technically next week, but this will be posted on in about 20 minutes. But yeah, I guess you guys will know, but yeah, it makes sense
the
to us.
magic of editing.
It makes sense for us. But yeah, again, sorry for that, but we will get that episode out for you guys. We are doing the special guest, which you guys aren't supposed to know. Frick. Well,
Hey,
spoilers.
hey, calm down. They're not
Spoilers.
supposed to know.
Spoilers.
A little bit of a spoiler for you. You know what? I'll
That's
give
all
him
right.
another spoiler.
Oh
Like
God.
2 weeks from now, from when you're listening to this, we're probably gonna have another Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
If
That will.
everything goes according to plan.
If everything goes according, it should. But
If
yeah.
Blaine doesn't decide to move to like California or something, then we'll be fine.
We should be good then. But with that, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. If you guys could leave us a like, comment, or review on wherever you guys are watching this via Spotify, YouTube, or Podbean, we would really appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to get in touch with us, we do have a Twitter, or you can email us at animeapocalypse22@gmail.com. We really look forward to seeing your guys' feedback, whether you guys give us some suggestions for animes you guys want us to watch, or any way we can improve to make the quality better for you guys. We would really appreciate it. But yeah, with that, guys, thank you so much for listening, and always remember, your waifu is trash.